Get ready, West Coast. The next few days are shaping up to be a true test of endurance and preparation for millions of people living along the coast and in the mountains. A powerful 1-2 punch of Pacific storms is about to hit, and these systems are packing a serious punch, fueled by moisture-laden air streaming in from the Pacific Ocean. These aren't just passing showers. Expect relentless heavy downpours, fierce winds that could topple trees and power lines, and major mountain snow that could snarl travel and close passes. The Pacific Northwest and Northern California are in for a wild ride, with communities from Seattle to San Francisco bracing for impact. 2 storms are lined up. The first arrives over the weekend, bringing widespread rain and gusty winds that will make outdoor plans difficult. But the main event is right behind, a potent atmospheric river slamming the coast Monday night into Tuesday, unleashing a surge of tropical moisture straight from the central Pacific. This fire hose of tropical moisture targets already soaked ground, raising the risk of flooding and landslides, especially in areas that have seen recent rain. The sequence matters. The first storm saturates the soil, priming the landscape for trouble, while the second delivers the knockout blow with even heavier rain. When the ground is soaked, new rain runs off immediately, overwhelming streams and rivers and increasing the risk of flash flooding in low-lying areas. That's why forecasters are sounding the alarm about flooding, urging residents to pay close attention to warnings and be ready to act quickly. The timeline is tight. Impacts start Sunday, intensify Monday, and peak Monday night into Tuesday, with little time to recover between storms. The second storm will be the strongest, with the heaviest rain and highest flood risk for Northern California, where rivers and creeks could rise rapidly. It's a dangerous start to the week. Everyone in the path should stay informed, check local alerts, and be ready to act if evacuation orders are issued. This isn't just another rainy spell. It's a weather pattern that demands attention, preparation, and respect for nature's power. Have a plan, monitor alerts, and be prepared for rapidly changing conditions. Power outages, road closures, and sudden flooding are all possible. The next few days will test the region's resilience, as neighbors and emergency crews work together to keep communities safe and minimize damage. Stay alert, stay safe, and respect the power of these storms. Sometimes the best thing you can do is simply stay indoors and wait it out. The West Coast is no stranger to wild weather, but this event stands out for its intensity and the back-to-back nature of the storms. Let's break down what to expect, how to prepare, and why this storm sequence could be one for the record books. The weather drama began Sunday, as the Pacific Northwest braced for a turbulent stretch of days that would test the region's resilience. A powerful low-pressure system spun toward British Columbia, unleashing widespread rain and wind across the region and drenching the Pacific Northwest from the coast to the inland valleys. This first storm is no slouch. Steady, relentless rain is soaking the I-5 corridor from Washington through Northern California, making travel hazardous and reducing visibility for drivers. 1 to 3 inches of rain is falling fast, on ground already saturated from last week's storms, leaving little room for new water to be absorbed. With the soil at its limit, new rain runs off quickly, raising creeks and rivers and increasing flood risk even before the main storm arrives. Urban areas are especially vulnerable, with storm drains struggling to keep up. Winds are another threat. Gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour are battering coastal communities, snapping branches, downing power lines, and making outdoor conditions dangerous. Scattered outages are likely, just as the weather worsens. Emergency crews are already on alert, responding to calls as the storm intensifies. In the mountains, heavy wet snow is piling up in the Cascades and Northern Rockies, blanketing roads and forests in a thick, icy layer. This snow adds weight to trees and power lines, compounding outage risks and making travel through mountain passes treacherous. The first storm is a complete package, wet, windy, and disruptive, impacting nearly every corner of the region, from lowlands to high peaks. But its most important role is priming the region for the much stronger atmospheric river right behind it, setting the stage for even more severe impacts. The stage is set for a dangerous escalation, as meteorologists warn that the worst is yet to come. Residents should use this window to prepare for what's next. Check emergency kits, clear gutters, and stay informed as conditions evolve. The worst is yet to come. Stay ready, stay safe, and keep an eye on the forecast as this volatile weather pattern continues to unfold. As the first storm winds down, the main event arrives, a powerful atmospheric river Monday night into Tuesday. This is a concentrated plume of tropical moisture, set to unleash extreme rain and snow, especially on Northern California. Another 1 to 3 inches of rain will fall on already saturated ground, dramatically escalating flood risk. The moisture will spread south to the Bay Area and into the northern San Joaquin Valley, broadening the threat. Areas north of San Francisco Bay and the Sierra foothills are especially vulnerable. Steep terrain and soaked soils mean rapid runoff and flash flooding. Small streams and rivers could overflow quickly, threatening homes and roads. Residents in these zones must be on high alert. Atmospheric rivers deliver much of California's annual precipitation, but also its worst floods. This event is a textbook example, a fire hose of water aimed at a vulnerable landscape. The next 48 hours are critical. Prepare for significant, widespread impacts. This is the storm to watch. The biggest concern with these storms is the escalating flood threat. As the weather system intensifies, communities across the region are bracing for potentially life-threatening conditions. The ground is already saturated from last week's rain. Like a full sponge, it can't absorb more. Even a small amount of additional rainfall now has nowhere to go, increasing the risk of rapid runoff and pooling water. New rain will run off instantly, funneling into streams and rivers and turning heavy rain into dangerous floods. Storm drains and waterways can quickly become overwhelmed, leading to sudden rises in water levels. Urban and small stream flooding could make roads impassable within minutes. Low-lying intersections and underpasses are especially vulnerable, and water can rise faster than many people expect. Creeks and rivers may swell into torrents, especially in foothills and canyons where flash floods strike fast. These areas can see water levels surge dramatically with little warning, catching people off guard. North of San Francisco Bay and the central Sierra foothills are at highest risk. Steep slopes and waterlogged soil mean landslides and mudslides are possible. Hillsides can give way suddenly, sending mud and debris downslope. Mud, rocks, and debris could block roads and threaten homes. Emergency crews may struggle to reach affected areas if routes are cut off, so early preparation is essential. Know your local flood risk. If you live near creeks or in low-lying areas, be extra cautious. Floodwaters can rise quickly, and evacuation routes may become blocked. Never drive through flooded roads. Turn around. Don't drown. Even shallow water can sweep away vehicles and put lives in danger. Simple choices save lives in every flood event. Preparing sandbags, moving valuables to higher ground, and checking on neighbors can make a big difference. With saturated ground and an atmospheric river incoming, the flood risk is high. Stay vigilant as conditions can change rapidly, especially overnight. Stay alert, heed warnings, and make safe decisions. Listen for emergency alerts and be ready to act quickly if evacuation orders are issued. The next 2 days will be critical for flood safety. Be prepared, stay informed, and look out for one another as the storm unfolds. Wind is a major threat alongside the rain. Gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour are sweeping the coast, snapping branches and toppling trees, especially those rooted in soggy soil. Downed trees and limbs are the main cause of power outages during storms like these. Losing power during a cold, wet storm is more than an inconvenience. It can mean no heat, lights, or access to emergency updates. Have an emergency kit ready and charge devices in advance. As the atmospheric river arrives, gusty winds will continue, stressing the power grid and vulnerable trees. The coast is most at risk, but even inland valleys could see damaging gusts. Travel with caution. Fallen trees and debris may block roads. This relentless wind and rain will test both infrastructure and nature. While the lowlands get rain, the mountains are buried in snow. But this storm is warmer than last week's. Snow levels are high, mostly above 8,000 feet, so major passes like I-80 should see rain, not snow. In the Cascades and Siskiyous, 5 to 10 inches of heavy wet snow is falling above 4,500 feet, piling onto the existing snowpack. This creates unstable layers and a high avalanche risk. Backcountry travelers must check forecasts and use extreme caution. As the atmospheric river moves through, the northern Rockies will get 8 to 12 inches of new snow above 5,500 feet. Heavy, wet Sierra cement snow adds weight to trees and structures, increasing the risk of outages and damage. Even warm storms can create life-threatening winter conditions at high elevations. Mountain communities should prepare for outages and hazardous travel. The storm's impact changes dramatically with elevation. Stay alert in the high country. Despite these storms, California's water supply remains a concern. The Sierra snowpack is still below average for this time of year, especially in the central and southern regions. This week's atmospheric river will add snow, but mostly at the highest elevations. Much of the mid-elevation precipitation will fall as rain. Rain helps fill reservoirs, but doesn't build the slow-melting snowpack needed for summer water supply. More cold storms are needed to boost the snowpack and secure long-term water resources. It's a classic California paradox. Too much water in the wrong places, not enough in the right form. Flood risks are high now, but water supply concerns linger for the months ahead. The health of the Sierra snowpack remains a key story this winter. Atmospheric rivers are long plumes of concentrated water vapor, rivers in the sky that deliver much of the West Coast's annual precipitation. When they hit land and mountains, they unleash torrents of rain and snow. They're essential for water supply, but can also cause catastrophic floods. Scientists rank them on a scale from 1 to 5, like hurricanes. This week's event is strong and dangerous. As the climate warms, atmospheric rivers may become even more intense, swinging between drought and flood. Understanding these systems helps us prepare for their impacts. Forecasting improvements are crucial as these events become more extreme. The more we know, the safer we'll be. After this wild start to the week, relief is on the way. Once the atmospheric river exits by Wednesday, high pressure will build over the West Coast, bringing calm, dry, sunny weather. This break will let saturated ground dry out and rivers recede. Crews can assess damage, clear debris, and restore power. The dry spell should last through the week and into the weekend. After days of high alert, it's a chance to recover and regroup. This is the classic West Coast weather cycle. Intense storms, then tranquil days. Stay vigilant for the next 48 hours, but look forward to the calm ahead. Monitor local forecasts and heed all warnings. We'll get through this wild ride together and enjoy the sunshine on the other side.